Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 5 of Roster Talk. And today I've got, can we say, a young prodigy here? Regali, mate, 19 years old, one of the youngest guests we've had so far. How's your day been so far?
Yeah, it's pretty good. I just drank my coffee and ready to roll out with you.
Sounds good, mate. Well, let's kick it off by talking about last year. 2021, the team kind of all came together in July. So I want to ask you, how much time before the actual announcement did you guys actually know what the lineup was, or maybe practice? Like, what was all that about when the team just formed together?
Well, we did not practice at all before the announcement. It was just all of a sudden. Uh, we met on TeamSpeak, and then the announce came like 6 hours later. But then we had the official as well. So yeah, we didn't practice at all actually. We just played on the server. We met each other on TeamSpeak and just played.
Yeah, right. Just getting straight into it. And I guess as well, there was probably 2 months or so until the first roster change came through. We saw Process parting ways with the team, and then obviously Banjo coming in a couple of weeks later. So just tell me about the first sort of 2 months of this team before the first change came through. How was everything feeling? Was it maybe things weren't quite going the way of the plan, and that's why Process had to leave?
Uh, I mean, we exceeded our expectations in We Play Academy League with Process, especially, or with everybody. Like, we got to top three, and it was quite nice. But the thing that we switched Process, it was just because of, I mean, internal problems, I think, or something. Because, like, he was a good player, but maybe we were searching for some other things in a player, and that's it.
Okay, well, maybe the next player to talk about is obviously the youngest guy on the team of Banjo, the Finn, 17 years old. Before joining this team, I mean, we'd barely even heard about him. I mean, I guess you could kind of say the same for some of the guys in the lineup, at least before joining the team, is there wasn't a lot of experience. How did this guy even get found? Because he didn't have many HLTV officials under his belt.
Yeah, I actually don't know. I was asking Kevin and Mike, people that are searching for young prodigies for Fnatic Rising, how did they find him out? And like, they didn't give me an answer actually, but yeah, they just did find him. And it's crazy because he's actually very good. Like, his aim is so sick. So yeah, I was surprised when I played with him. I didn't know him at all. I was watching his HLTV history as well, and yeah, like I didn't know any of the teams he played in. So yeah, I was surprised as well
And
for him.
what's his English like? Because obviously, for the majority of these guys, they've never played on a European team before. They've never spoken English. So I guess for everyone, is English a struggle, or is the comms just completely fine?
I mean, his English might be a struggle, but I don't know how I could say it because he doesn't speak so much. Like, he's Finn, right? He
Hmm.
they don't speak too much either, so it's kind of hard to argue on that. But his English is not as good as the others because I remember he had an interview. Maybe he was a bit emotional in that one. He wasn't speaking too much. He was
Hmm.
like answering in short, like short answers, and that was all. But we understand him, and he is working on his comms because in CS the comms are kind of different. Like, you don't need to have a lot of English knowledge.
Hmm. And I mean, he kind of joined the team end of September. It seemed as if for maybe October time and November, struggling with the results, like the ranking went down on HLTV, and then maybe from that point things started going up. So was it just a portion of time where it was difficult to implement Banjo into the lineup, and now that he's been here for a few months now, things are finding more success? What was it towards sort of the end of the year and even coming into this year where it sort of felt like there was more of a push of getting more wins on the board and rising up the rankings?
We've tried him in many positions. Oh no, actually, we've put him in the good positions he wanted to play from the beginning. So that meant that other players like Peppzor or like Kevin, they had to switch some positions. They had
Hmm.
to find some good solutions for that to implement Banjo in the best positions for himself. Because, as I said, Banjo has a great aim, but maybe he's lacking on something else. And so Kevin and Peppzor, they filled those gaps. Uh, Not pretty quick, as you said. Like, there were some months of working, but now like, things are going up. It's just the communication in the whole team, not only because of Banjo, but like sometimes if I get emotional as well, I'm not communicating the way I do like in other days. It's all about consistency in communication right now. That is, yeah, destroying our wins maybe, or yeah, things like that.
And maybe talking about leadership as well, the thing that surprised me the most is when I look at last year, there wasn't even a coach that came through for this team. Obviously, Cube, the Danish guy, had just come over, well, pretty recently, actually, only a few weeks ago. So was that something where it was like, right, we've got to a point now where we're starting to rise up, things are looking more positive, we want to make that next push, that next dive to go even higher up and bringing a coach in? Because having a whole half a year without a coach, it must have been difficult.
Yeah, I mean, we had Mike, we had Golden helping us, but he wasn't like a coach. He was just a guy helping with some basic stuff or with some knowledge that he had. Yeah, so we could have asked him anything, but and we would have got the good answers, but he wasn't like a coach in the game. But now with Cube, it's like the Cube effect, as he calls it himself. He gave us some strats, some yeah, some basic things. Like he put us on the same page. Everybody knows what to do in the same time. So it's good. Like he is coming with a lot of new things, or I would say Danish things, because they are like they are coming from his past teams as well, where he coached at. So it's good with Cube. Yeah, and it's more structured now.
Yeah, and I guess as well, like when I look at this team, obviously I've seen you guys a lot, casted a lot of your games. I almost feel as if there's only one star player on that team, and that's you, right? Obviously, we've seen Banjo put up some very good performances recently, but when I'm talking about a second star player, someone that consistently puts up numbers, it doesn't feel like Fnatic Rising have that just yet. Do you kind of think the same, or is it more time needs to be implemented to kind of get maybe Banjo into more of those roles where we can consistently see him putting up larger numbers?
I mean, I wouldn't call myself star player as the way I'm playing right now. Like, I don't feel like I'm playing so good. Maybe after this little break, I'll reset and I'll play better. But right now, yeah, I think everybody can be a star player in the sense of carrying the team in hard times. This tournament, of course, like I played good even in like the matches we lost. But for Banjo or for anybody, because Peppzor is, I feel like Peppzor is playing way better right now. Like he's
Okay.
playing better day by day, so he can be the star player as well in maybe 2 weeks. Carrying our asses. But for Banjo especially, I think he needs more time with the team. But for the others, it's just about individual, like how we feel the day, how you are feeling the match and all that. Because another problem we have in this team is that if somebody is not consistent enough, not only stats wise, but like communication or just rotations, somebody else has to feel. And the guy that has to feel could have a worse match, because, for example, if I'm playing good in a match, I might skip some rotations or I might not talk the same, like better I do. So somebody else has to struggle with filling my gaps. So that means that that guy will maybe have bad stats.
Okay. And
So yeah,
yeah, I mean, talking about Kevve, I mean, you mentioned him just before. Obviously, the in-game leader of the team. He's a lot older than a lot of the other guys are. So, kind of give me a feel and a vibe of what his calling style is like, and how maybe he utilizes you being the main AWP to try and find the most amount of impact.
yeah. So first of all, since Cube came here, he came with this idea of using me a lot more, like because I can find impact. He talked about my qualities, and we came to a conclusion that Kevin has to use me more in the beginning, at least.
Okay.
But that's also up to me. So I need to call what I want to do. Then Kevin will call around that. So that's another problem I've been struggling with, like calling for myself, calling what I want to do. But now, as I said, things are going up. Kevin is calling better, I would say, but it's because of that, because people know what to do actually. So yeah, it's just easier for Kevin sometimes. But there are some moments where we play harder teams, like better teams than us, and then Kevin has to call everything, like micromanaging everything, and that is the moment where Kevin might not play as good as he does in other matches because he's calling more, he's putting a lot of effort in officials as well. But there are also weeks where Kevin is searching for strategies, watching more demos than everybody. Yeah, just doing off work. Like when I'm at school, for example, and Banjo is at school as well. It's just Kevin and Peppzor maybe that are watching stuff and finding with new stuff, and Cube as well because he's the coach. But
Hmm.
So yeah, he's just putting a lot of effort in this team of the Prex.
Yeah, and I mean for Peppzor, right? He's the other Swede that's part of the team. We knew that he got added to the Fnatic main lineup for a little bit, but didn't actually get the opportunity to play. So knowing that even him and Kevve have got to know each other, I think that they played ever so slightly together before this team in the past. So what's it like playing with another Swede on the team? Like, do those two work really well? Does he kind of help out in any calling sense, or how would you best describe or maybe give the best quality of what Peppzor brings?
Yeah, I mean Kevin and Peppzor, they are loud. They speak a lot.
Right.
They communicate a lot, and they feel each other because yeah, they were playing together for a long time before, and it's like their relationship, their friendship is so strong that they know what to call. Like in their minds, they think the same, about the game.
Hmm.
So it's just easier for them to call something. And yeah, they are filling each other's gaps. They are talking more, as I said, and the Swedish style of playing this game is just easier. I mean, it's just one strat and then just help each other and kill. So yeah,
Hmm.
this is
And
how it is.
one guy that we haven't spoken about just yet is obviously KST, and this is a guy that in the Portuguese scene has actually had a fair bit of experience. We've seen him play on multiple different lineups, but sort of coming into Fnatic Rising, always feel like he gets left aside in the sense that people don't always talk about him. They maybe talk about you, or they talk about some of the newcomers of someone like Banjo. For KST, I mean, he's a guy that has been a part of the lineup since the very beginning. So even for him, what's it like playing with that fella?
I mean, he's the guy that I'm talking with the most.
Okay.
He's very friendly. He's my style of yeah, jokes and all that because I'm Romanian, so we are similar in that way. But in the game, he's the guy that knows almost everything as well. Like he's putting a lot of effort as well. But he's watching stuff for himself. For example, he's coming with new ideas. Maybe he's calling me on WhatsApp and he's saying, "Hey, let's try this new thing together." And in the game, he's trying to fill the gaps as well, in the sense that he's like saying to me, "Hey, do that or try this new stuff," because he's like seeing the game in another way as well. And there are some maps that where he wants to have full control of how to play the game, and that fucks a bit of our game maybe because yeah, as I said, he's seeing the game different, so he has to explain like a lot of stuff when he wants to do something as well. But as I said, like he's good. Like he knows utility as well. He knows a lot of things. I actually thought he was a coach before he came to Fnatic because he had a lot of knowledge. I was like, man, were you a coach before? Because you know so much. Yeah.
Yeah, it feels as if there's a lot of pieces here, right, that are going into the right direction. So I guess as the last thing here, Regali, what are some of the goals for the team going into this year? Is it winning one of the academy leagues? Is it getting maybe top 50, top 40 on HLTV? Is it finding more consistency? Could you sort of explain maybe some of the goals for the rest of this year?
Personally, I really want to win a We Play Academy League, but I want to be in a good form as well, and that means we need consistency as well. But I will be done with school in May, so we can practice even more for yeah, for our goals. I would like top 50, but that comes along with winning a We Play Academy, I think. So yeah, it's just We Play that we want to win, I would say.
Hmm.
Yeah, and just consistency with this roster change actually, and we might have a new roster change. I don't know. I don't really know actually.
All right. Well, keep the eyes open then, I guess. Regali, thank you very much for coming on, and best of luck trying to achieve those goals this year.
Thank you. Thank you.